So going home, we talked about this briefly earlier, how you said once we got home, it was not like it was in the NICU, right? I think that's the biggest thing. We try to tell parents to try to keep the babies on the schedule because we do it for a reason there. So we keep them on a 3-hour schedule. I think part of that is to make sure that they're able to do that by themselves to be discharged, right? To take all of their feedings and stuff like that. I think when parents get home, they want to play with their baby during the daytime, and people are coming over, and their sleep schedules get all crazy. So we always, that's the first thing I think I hear. Like, it's not like it was in the NICU. How come my baby doesn't sleep in the NICU? How come, you see us, we feed, we swaddle, and then that's it, right? So did you guys do that? Like when you got home, did you find it like easy to do that?
We're still on the NICU schedule. Our friends and our sitters that come home laugh at us because they're like, oh, it's the NICU way. We birth the NICU way. We like.
But it works, right? Like, yeah.
5 months old, and it's still every 3 hours. Except now at night, I see my pediatrician, and she says you don't have to wait. I was waking them up at night to feed them, but Sage is almost 20 pounds. So she says if they want to sleep now, let them sleep. So River's the one that wakes up about every 5 hours. River at Sage and Olive are almost 20 pounds. So she says it's no longer at night. So they go down at 8 until 8, 6 o'clock in the morning. They don't eat, but River will eat once. But then they feed away, add new stuff to that schedule.
Yeah.
And it does that schedule. And it allows us to work from home, go to the supermarket, because we know what time they're going to feed. And they kind of, they're on their own schedule. I'm very grateful to everything that
I think sometimes people want to try to do it like their own way too when you get home because I don't know, for whatever reason, think it's going to be different at home, like in a better way. But I have found that the parents that don't stick to that schedule or try to as much, it's just so much harder because, like I said, you have people coming over and want to visit the baby. Like parents want to hold the baby sometimes and want to, is that kind of what you guys found?
Two different opinions on that. Like we actually did want to stick to the NICU schedule, and we kind of still do. But we were told, oh, he's not going to be on the NICU schedule because he'll want to eat. Like he's going to eat on demand. So feed him on demand. So if he's hungrier sooner than that, then feed him. So that kind of starts to throw off the schedule, this kind of snacking in between. Yeah. And then it becomes like 2 hours, and then so then it gets all kind of unorganized. But then we just try to get back on track, and it's better. It's just when he wakes up earlier, it's hard to have another hour and a half. And tea, so they're like, all right, we'll feed him a bottle. He won't take as much, and then the next time he'll wake up and feed us an hour later. It just gets, I think the schedule is helpful, but
yeah,
reality sometimes
what do you have
stick to
like
that.
suggestions for that one?
I mean, either way is acceptable, but I think that if there are more issues around sleep and feeding, every 3-hour schedule is probably a little bit easier for them to kind of go through. If they're not as preterm, maybe they're in their 32 or 33 or something like that, and then being on demand is probably okay. And especially if there's issues with reflux and getting them down and keeping them down, then kind of every 3 hours probably is a little bit better. Babies love schedules. They really respond well to a schedule. Obviously,
do you pull them off a little bit if they're say they're hungry earlier than 3 hours. Do you just kind of try?
Yeah, you can. You can try some active interaction. You know what I mean? Like because they're going to start to have more of that. As time goes on, where they're not going to just be asleep and then feeding and then asleep and then feeding and then sleep. So there's going to be some time where they'll be like, look here, Mom, what's happening here? So you can just interact with them a little bit, or read a book or do something, and then do the feeding. They're not going to fall asleep before they get the feed. So you don't have to worry about that.
What about the flip side of that though? Is if you try to stay on schedule, but the baby does not want to adhere to the schedule. So there's been times when we will try to feed on those 3-hour increments, but he's not into it at all. So
Is he awake and just not feeding, or he just?
I mean, sometimes we may have to get him up and get him, I mean, typically, a change in will sort of wake him up enough, but there's just times that he just, he just doesn't want it, so then we're in a situation where it's like, okay, do we just not feed him when he does wake up and wants to eat? That seems counterintuitive.
Yeah. So that's where you kind of get into the whole shift minimum rather than a set bottle minimum.
And that's what he was on when he left NICU,
right,
because of this exact.
So if he doesn't want to take as much and he takes 20 or 25, then you got to work a little harder the next time to get him to take 50 or 60. You know what I mean? So you kind of work a little bit more loosely within the kind of confines of the schedule, but you keep it still at every 3 hours. So you don't push if he's not interested, but then you got to make sure he's balancing that out with more active feeding times.
I would say for the most part, we can stick to the schedule. For the most part, of course, it's not perfect every single day, but
weight gain, that's the ultimate goal. However it happens, however much volume you can get in them, as long as the baby is gaining weight, that's the most important thing.
How much is good and how much is okay, I know
it's all weight based, so it all depends. We can talk more specifically about him when we talk about his overall nutrition.
Yeah, I think that's hard too, because especially when they're first born and they're little and they first start feeding, you're like, why does my baby have to take 40 cc's? Like, there's no new baby that takes that much, right? Mm-hmm. So it's all weight based, and then it just, like you said, when you go home, it kind of changes, because I always tell parents your pediatrician will follow the weight gain, and when the babies leave, maybe they're taking 50 every single time. Yeah. But your pediatrician may say, that's kind of a lot. He doesn't need that much. Or if he's averaging that, but still gaining weight. So it's different. You never really know the volume.
I don't know how the NICU nurses takes 60 every 3 hours. It was
probably
girl, we can feed anybody. Just kidding.
It's like magic. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, probably a lot of it is like techniques too.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll show you our tricks.
Okay. Visitors limit during flu RSV season, and make sure that all household members have the vaccine for DTaP and flu. So that's kind of hard, right? Because people want to come see the babies, but
it's not that hard.
Have the vaccine. You have to be firm, right? Yeah.
Triplets are so cute, but you're not coming over unless. And all of our visitors take the little selfie. I'm like, I want to see the selfie at the CBN. I'm aggressive. Yeah.
That's good.
There's no safe time. Everyone says winter time. Okay, winter time's bad, but the springtime is bad. The springtime is whooping cough. The summertime is bad. The summertime is enterovirus. The wintertime is flu virus and para-influenza and influenza and RSV. So there's really no safe time. So anyone who's sick, no go. Period. No matter what time of year it is. There's always some virus that's going around.
Our pediatrician said flu season, she said it's flu season. Think of it like this, 365. That's what she said.
Yeah.
She said there's no such thing as flu season. Because we wanted to travel. Now that the babies are finally home, take them close to family. And she said, and I said, it's flu season. She's like, I feel like, obviously should we wait? I said, should we wait until flu season is over? And she said, flu season is all year. Think of it like that. Because that way you're always cautious.
Yeah. Different viruses are peaking at different times.
Never going to travel. Airports, airplanes, forget it. It's not happening.
Different viruses peak at different times, but there are things you can do to protect them. Do the breathable blankets so that people can't cough directly on their faces. Things like that.
Well, we have a couple friends that also had babies around the same time, and she consulted with them, and I was the one who was like, no, everybody's gonna get these shots. I'm not playing with this. And then she's asking her friends, so what are you guys doing? Or you having everybody get the shot? So we went with, okay, everybody's gonna get the shot, but one of her friends didn't.
All of my friends got the TTAP shot, the flu shot, and made the family get it. And we have one friend that's anti-vaccine, anti-shots. She's that one, which it's okay. I'm totally fine with it. I love her just as much. Her baby last week was in the hospital with whooping cough. And her baby is 2 weeks younger than my baby. He was born June 28th.
So Everybody can think we're crazy. That's fine.
Yeah.
But-
And then like we all shared it in our group, in our little network, and we're like, see, like I know there's so much controversy, the anti-vaccine, and it's so sad. And I get it, and it's like all of my friends are like, don't give the boys the MMR, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but it's done. Like I had it, they had it, it's okay, he's fine. I'm
Measles is back for a reason.
Measles. There was a measles
It's
outbreak
back.
while I was pregnant
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
UCLA.
Yeah,
That's too
absolutely.
close to
It's
home.
very close, yeah.
Yeah.
Avoid taking baby places to large crowds where people might be sick. Like Disneyland. I probably wouldn't do that for a while, you know. And I was also reading, and it also said the doctor's office. So when you take them to the pediatrician's office, like ask to maybe if you hear like kids coughing.
Do you guys have your
ask
pediatricians
so.
have a sick
and well.
like and a well door, a
Yeah.
sick door and a well door? Okay.
Yeah.
And that's
She does
a
it.
good office.
Yeah.
You want to make
Yeah.
sure that you're not going that there's a separation.
And she won't really schedule follow-ups on Mondays because over the weekends kids get sick, and Mondays is like the most
sick day.
sick day. So usually Tuesdays.
No, that's great.
And of course, educate friends and family on hand hygiene and secondhand smoke. Pia said she was a little crazy with the Purell, but smokers too, like anybody that smokes, like even friends that smoke.
It clings to the
It
clothes.
clings to their clothes, and like I would say, you can't, if you're gonna come over, you have to shower, put on a jacket, like, cause you can really smoke, you know, I mean, yeah, definitely. Okay, feeding, breast milk or formula? Are you giving breast milk?
Yes.
Yeah,
And
are you,
both.
are you breastfeeding?
Yes.
Yes. So you're supplementing?
No, he has to have, well,
424s and
Yeah.
4 breast milk, right?
yeah.
Oh,
he's
okay.
half and half.
Okay. I only brought this one up because I think some moms that strictly are breastfeeding and they go to the pumping stations, and I think they like make the moms feel so bad that they're supplementing with formula. And we just want you to know that it's okay. Like, you know, I mean, right, Jenny? Tell them.
100%.
Again, wake baby to feed every hours. Do not wake a sleeping baby before then. It's kind of a joke in the NICU, right? I know sometimes you might smell like if they have a poopy diaper, but if they're sleeping and it's like an hour before their sleep time, don't wake them up. So cluster your cares during the feeding times. And so this is kind of what you said. So at 44 weeks corrected age, it may be okay to let the baby sleep at night for 4 to 6 hours, right? 44 weeks. You can feed more volume before sleep to keep them full. So like if you had an 11 p.m. feeding, you could give him more volume and then let him sleep for 4 hours. So bottles, nipples, okay. So what kind of bottles do you guys use?
The Dr. Brown's that we came home with.
Dr. Brown?
For 2 of them, and then Melrose is on the event.
Like a
Natural flow.
regular flow nipple?
No, it's event natural flow, and it also has the anti-colic, like little
Thing.
thing
Oh,
you
the
put
got
in
it.
it.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of nipples. We have, Jenny, this is a regular, no, this is a standard nipple.
That's standard.
The standard. This is a regular nipple.
Yeah.
So this
Clear.
is the faster flow. Oh, no, the clear one,
The
right?
clear
This
one is the, yeah.
And then there's a slow flow, a slower flow, and an extra slow flow. Right? What's this one?
I think I got 2 or 3 of every different
Oh, yeah.
kind.
So I think we start the babies out on the slow flow because I think it's supposed to resemble like the breastfeeding, like the flow of the breastfeeding the best. And normally babies that can eat fine with a slower nipple can usually eat fine with this one. OTPT, I know, will keep the babies on a slow flow nipple a longer time, but our nurse will come and be like, oh, he fed fine on the standard. So I think for parents it gets confusing because when parents start learning how to feed and they're like, well, they used this color nipple yesterday and this, right? I think it becomes like a race. You're like, I am going to be bringing this bottle and see like how good they can eat. I don't know, Jenny and I like the regular nipple. But again, when you say that he's not into feeding, is it just that he's asleep, or he just doesn't open his mouth for the bottle? Doesn't want the bottle?
Well, it's not necessarily that he's not into feeding. He goes in sort of cycles where he'll have days where he'll be crazy with food and he'll put down like twice what he normally would, and then he'll have days when he'll drop, down like 20 or 30 is what he maxed out at.
See, and I think that's okay. So I think they're going to have those off days.
We had a lot of like back and forth with bottles and which nipples and which flow, and it was just like, oh my gosh. He went home with the Dr. Brown's and slow flow, and then there was a point where he was just like sucking, and there was like he was not getting anything.
It was classic.
He was just like, so I moved him up to another level, and that helped for like a day, and then that started not to work, and it just was bad, and then I went with the event, and then that like magically worked for him. I think we found that the shape, like his mouth wants to be wider, like more like on the breast, where he like big mouth on, like latches like with the full on the nipple, and the vent is like wide, so he does much better with that. But he's, he has a little bit of some issues with like sucking, so.